Well, Convention Week for Georgia Farm Bureau has arrived, a time when members from across the state come together to celebrate accomplishments, set priorities, and transition new leaders into key roles. And this year, two committee chairs are marking the end of their terms defined by service, advocacy, and history. For the first time ever, the Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee was led by a woman, Allie Andrews of Lamar County. And on the women's leadership side of things, Thomas County's Julie Hardy continued a long generational legacy of elevating the voices of Georgia agriculture. Two leaders, two journeys, one shared mission. In Georgia's rural areas, making a difference takes dedication. This year, two women have done just that, while shaping the future of agriculture along the way. Allie Andrews of Lamar County added a historic title in 2025, becoming the first female chair of Georgia Farm Bureau's Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee.
I mean, it's an honor, first and foremost, to be even thought of, to be voted in as this position. But I want to do it right, and I want to do it well. And I don't want it to be about the title, but the service along with that title. So I just really want to do the organization, the committee, the young farmers and ranchers throughout the whole state. I want to do it well for them.
Yeah, I'm just proud of how she's, moved up and just wanted to serve and just kept serving. And she just worked hard to be in that position. So I'm just proud of her and happy for her and happy for all of us being able to be a part of it.
As a mother, a wife, a farmer, and now a history maker, Allie wears many hats. But without a doubt, her absolute favorite title is mom. Why is it so important to you guys that you raise them on the farm the right way?
It's a great question. I would say appreciation. It's hard work, and you've got to love what you do. And so I've seen how Luke grew up on the farm and just grew up appreciating what we have. God's not making any more land. And so for our kids to grow up and just, hey, I'm going to the creek. I'm going to the fort at the creek. Kids in a neighborhood don't get that. And that's not downplaying that. This is just what God blessed us with. But they appreciate a lot more. They appreciate a nap. I don't know. I think it's humility.
For Allie and Luke Andrews, raising their three children on the farm isn't just about lifestyle. It's about legacy. It's about giving them something the world sometimes forgets: perspective, purpose, and connection to the land.
Just south in Thomas County, Julie Hardy has spent the past year leading the Georgia Farm Bureau Women's Committee, bringing her own family farm legacy and a fierce voice for advocacy to the forefront. Julie's path has been guided by a lifelong connection to the land and a determination to give back to the community she so loves.
I've only been back on the farm full-time for a few years now. I've worked in research, corn seed research. I've been a grain merchandiser. I've worked for a cotton gin. So I've worked in different aspects of agriculture, but only on the farm full-time for the last few years. But it's something I've been striving to do since I've graduated from college, was to get back here. And my husband a few years ago said, that's what you want to do. That's your passion. Let's do it. I grew up here on this same land. I grew up that way. And I've just been here my whole life, and it's part of you. And when you leave, you get a homesick feeling. But now I'm home, and I've never been happier.
Both Allie and Julie know that farming is more than crops, more than livestock. It's about community, purpose, and a commitment to the future.
I would have never seen myself in Washington, D.C. Like this little old girl from Butts County, Georgia, now living in Barnesville, Georgia. advocating for agriculture, which I did not come from an ag background. So I would have never thought that I would go to Washington, D.C. and advocate for what we're advocating. Maybe to visit for the history and it's our nation capital, sure. But to be up there at their doorstep advocating for agriculture, I would have never thought of it. And I wouldn't have ever had that opportunity if it wasn't for Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau has opened so many doors for me, doors I didn't even know were there. If you let the right people, let everyone know that you want to do as much as you can, there's unlimited possibilities. I've done the women's leadership boot camp. I've been to Washington, D.C. I've been to the AFBF conventions. You can do as much or as little as you want. And I've met some amazing people. And like I said, I've done things that I didn't even imagine I would be able to do. My favorite thing is going to Washington, D.C. and advocating on the Hill for issues going on back here at home.
And for these two leaders, the lessons they've taught, the voices they've amplified, and the example they've set will resonate far beyond the fields they tend.